Right now, live at 5.
An art exhibit is aiming to debunk the myth of how sexual assault is related to clothing.
And in Duluth, the police chief is addressing a rise in shootings with the city council. This as tensions rise across the country over the grand jury decision regarding Breonna Taylor's death. Now a curfew is in place in Kentucky after 2 police officers were shot during protests. And later, nearly 150 Wisconsin soldiers are returning home after a deployment to the Middle East.
You're watching Live at 5 on Live Local CBS3.
Welcome to the CBS3 News Live at 5. Here's kind of a gloomy look over the city of Duluth on this Thursday evening. Police Chief Mike Tuscan is set to address the city council later tonight regarding a number of department operations. We'll be following that story and many more throughout the evening. Good evening, I'm Kristen Baki.
And I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us. Itasca County is seeing an increase in sexual assault cases.
That's according to Support Within Reach, a local sexual violence resource center.
A spokesperson for the center says they've provided services to more than 700 clients just this year alone, a number that started rising at the beginning of the pandemic.
CBS 3's Leanne Valdez shows us how a new art exhibit is hoping to educate the community.
Sexual assault happens over all ages in all sorts of situations.
A widespread, unwelcome crime has taken over Itasca County.
Just in the past year alone, we provided services to well over 700 clients.
That's according to Interim Executive Director of Support Within Reach, a sexual violence resource center, Sherry Shadley. She says her resource center provided more than 7,000 services to those clients.
Whether it be, like I said, court advocacy, medical accompaniment, prosecutorial advocacy, or all the above.
The need is alarming, says Shadley.
We're getting lots of referrals from other system partners, including law enforcement, medical providers, so the phones are busy.
The center is hoping a new survivor art exhibit in Grand Rapids will shine a light on the serious problem.
That's something that would be really powerful, that would give victims a voice.
What Were You Wearing is an art exhibit based on student survivor descriptions of clothes that they wore during their sexual assault. The exhibit originated on the campus of the University of Arkansas.
It shouldn't matter what you're wearing. No one deserves to be sexually assaulted.
Leaders of Itasca County are now working on something similar to showcase in 2021, asking their own community to submit its own stories.
And putting a personal or a more localized spin on it, I think, would just enhance the exhibit and really help drive it home for people in terms of these are stories that our people in our community are experiencing.
The Sexual Violence Resource Center already has taken in submissions, but is waiting for more funding before moving forward.
Once the exhibit is completed, it will be installed at the McRosty Art Center here in Grand Rapids in the month of April, because that's Sexual Assault Awareness Month.
If you or a loved one is or have experienced sexual assault and would like to get help, log on to our website, cbs3duluth.com.
In just a few minutes, Duluth Police Chief Mike Tuscan is expected to share updates from his department with the City Council. It's part of the Council's virtual agenda session tonight. Tuscan's presentation is expected to include an update on the department's policy changes and legislative reforms that are passed over the summer. We'll have much more on his presentation coming up tonight at 10.
Vice President Mike Pence and Ivanka Trump spent the day in Minnesota and Wisconsin. They started the morning in Eau Claire. Pence and Ivanka toured Midwest manufacturing and spoke at a campaign rally shortly after. Both touted the importance of manufacturing jobs to the region and pledged to help the industry flourish if reelected. From there, the two brought President Donald Trump's law and order message to Minneapolis. The city, as of late, is known for where George Floyd's death set off a worldwide justice movement. Pence and Ivanka Trump planned a listening session today at an airport hotel with a Cops for Trump group. They also plan to hear from people who Trump's reelection campaign said have been hurt by crime and violent extremism. Governor Tim Walz called in the National Guard to help provide security and keep the peace. Walz said 100 Guard soldiers were mobilized at the request of the city of Minneapolis.
Police in Louisville say they will enforce a curfew tonight after 2 officers were shot during protests over the Breonna Taylor grand jury decision. After months of investigating, the cops involved will not face charges related to her death. Jerica Duncan has the latest from Louisville.
Officer down, right there. Officer down. Officials in Louisville say they have video that shows 26-year-old Lorenzo Johnson shooting 2 police officers during last night's protest following the grand jury's decision in the Breonna Taylor case.
I'm extremely happy to report that one of them was treated and released from University Hospital with a leg wound, and the other, who was struck in the abdomen, is in stable condition after undergoing significant surgeries and is expected to recover.
Although protests started peacefully, there were reports of garbage can fires, damaged vehicles, and looting. Police made 127 arrests. The protest came after months of waiting for a decision in Taylor's case. Former Louisville detective Brett Hankinson was indicted for endangering lives when he fired 10 shots into an apartment next to Taylor's. Hankinson was arrested and released on bail. Officers Jonathan Mattingly and Miles Cosgrove, who fired the shot that killed Taylor, will not face state criminal charges.
The use of force by Mattingly and Cosgrove was justified to protect themselves.
Taylor was killed on March 13th as police executed a search warrant for drugs and money. Neither were found. Her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, says he believed the police were intruders, so he fired a single shot which hit Mattingly in the thigh. Police returned fire. 6 shots hit Taylor.
Somebody kicked in the door and shot my girlfriend.
Walker has maintained police did not identify themselves before they used a battering ram on the door. Cameron said the officers did knock and announce.
That information was corroborated by another witness.
But attorneys for Walker and Taylor say that witness initially told police he did not hear the officers announce themselves, and an additional 12 neighbors said the same thing. Attorneys want to know what evidence the grand jury was shown.
We are demanding that he release that transcript so we can see if there was any evidence. Did Breonna have any voice in that grand jury proceeding?
The FBI is conducting a separate investigation. One of the things they'll be looking into is whether or not police obtained that warrant using false information. Meanwhile, Hankinson is under investigation by an FBI-led task force for alleged sexual assault claims in another case unrelated to Breonna Taylor's.
Last week, the city settled a lawsuit against the 3 officers brought forward by Taylor's mother, Tamika Palmer, agreeing to pay her $12 million and enact police reforms.
In response to the grand jury's decision not to indict Louisville police officers in Breonna Taylor's death, protesters shut down traffic last night in St. Paul. Several hundred demonstrators rallied at the state capitol before marching onto an interstate. The marchers walked onto I-94 around 8 o'clock last night, shutting down the eastbound lanes of the highway. State troopers later forced them off the interstate, and the crowd marched back to the Capitol. And in Wisconsin, officials say demonstrations were relatively peaceful, with protesters in Milwaukee blocking traffic on an interstate. Dozens of demonstrators marched along I-94 as a large number of Milwaukee County Sheriff's deputies held traffic back. In Madison, a group of about 60 people gathered on the steps of the state capitol to remember Breonna Taylor.
Let's take a quick look at the weather now. Dave, what a difference a day makes. Cold out there today.
Yeah, from 80s yesterday to 60s today, and sunshine yesterday morning to a gray sky today. On that note, we take a live look at the woods just north of Grand Rapids, where it's a little bit on the grayer side, yes, and the leaves are changing just like everywhere else in the region, but right now the road is dry. We're in between rain systems. Another one could be with us for tomorrow. So we take a look at the upper Midwest, and to our east we see yesterday's lows departing, but a new one's advancing in from the west, bringing a 40 to 50% chance for rain on Friday and through Saturday as well. Day planner for Friday then tells us in the morning it may still be cloudy but dry. Morning start temperature around 50 degrees, getting towards lunchtime, rising to the occasion and hitting 65, which is pretty close to normal, and then the rain chance begins, and it'll be with us through Friday night. Friday's high temp goes back up to 70, which isn't 80, no, but it's warmer than 60. It's splitting the difference, and it's warmer than normal. I'll talk about temperature trends for the weekend coming up, and if the rain chances will spill into Sunday or not.
Thanks, Dave. Still to come on Live at 5, Helping Hands keep a community project going in Superior. Plus, Central Park in Duluth is getting some needed upgrades. City by City is next.
Plus, tonight at 6, do kids raised by same-sex parents face greater challenges? A new study shows they don't. We're digging into that report later tonight.
You're watching Live at 5 with Kristen Vaki, Anthony Matt, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live Local CBS3.
The Kelly Clarkson Show, right here.
Weekdays at 3 on CBS3.
When looking for a TV and internet provider, we know you have a choice. This is Jessica. She still has satellite TV. Well, I get tons of HD. Spectrum has tons of HD. And we get exclusive access to premium original content with Spectrum Originals. I don't have that. Plus, sometimes in the rain, our services go out. Because of the dish on your roof?
Get Spectrum TV from $44.99 a month. Call 833-916-4499.
And Spectrum Internet starts at 100 megabits with no data caps and a free modem. We have to get internet from another company, and it isn't nearly as fast.
Spectrum Internet, $44.99 a month.
I'd switch, but I'm stuck in a contract and would have to pay up to $480 to cancel. Spectrum has no contracts, and they'll pay up to $500 to help you out of yours. That's it. I'm switching to Spectrum.
Get Spectrum TV and internet from $44.99 a month each. Call 833-916-4499.
I was diagnosed with diabetes at 13, so I got to work. I'm Quinn Nystrom, and I became a national advocate. Went door to door in Brainerd, then St. Paul. Went up to Canada to bring back insulin for a fraction of what drug companies charge here. But Pete Stauber went to Washington and voted against making healthcare and prescription drugs more affordable. I approve this message because Minnesota can't afford Pete Stauber in Congress.
This year,
more than ever, we are urging you to get your flu shot. During this pandemic, it seems there are so many things we can't do. Well, this is something we can do.
flu shots are now widely available throughout our community, including at St. Luke's and Essentia.
It takes just a few moments, and getting a flu shot protects you and those around you.
Let's do everything we can to stay healthy.
Let's get our flu shots. On behalf of Essentia
and St. Luke's and our entire region, thank you.
Welcome back to the CBS3 News Live at 5. Here's a live look and a wet one over Lake Superior. It's been a cool day across much of the region as we move closer to the weekend. Is a warm-up on the way? Dave Anderson will have that answer coming up in just a few minutes. But first, let's take a look around the region.
Helping Hands are keeping a community project going in Superior. Plus, a new mural is adding some beauty in Virginia.
That and more as we take you around the Northland, city by city.
Starting off in Superior, where community effort is keeping the Superior Dot project alive. The project is aimed at providing privacy and comfort to female students by distributing hygiene items in easy-to-carry bags. During the 2019-2020 school year, the project distributed 400 bags to area schools. The project was started by a Great Lakes Elementary School parent and has been supported by area businesses who have acted as drop-off sites.
Now crossing the bridge to Duluth, where some needed improvements are happening at the tennis court in Central Park. Crews with the Duluth Parks and Rec Department stepped up to refence and lay fresh asphalt along the park in order to lower the cost of the renovation. The newly designed park will feature both a pickleball and basketball court. City reps say it's a good way to bring more people to the park.
And finally, we're heading up to the Iron Range in Virginia, where a new mural is being installed by the Virginia Foundation. The mural depicts the early days of the Silver Lake Beach. The newest mural is part of the area beautification to add a splash of color to the business district.
If there's something going on in your neighborhood that you think we should know about, go ahead and send us an email, and it might be featured as we go around the Northland, city by city.
Still to come on Live at 5, gas-free cars may soon be a thing of the past in California.
Here's a live look at Highway 35 just south of Cloquet. Traffic's moving, though it's a little bit gloomy up aloft in the sky. Clouds are lingering, and from the clouds tomorrow another rain chance comes around. We'll talk about that one and the weekend coming up after our break.
They're live, they're local. Watch the CBS3 News with Kristen Vaki and Anthony Matt tonight at 6, right after the CBS Evening News at 5:30.
We need to make things here in America. We rely on other countries for too many things. I'm Tina Smith, and I have a plan to rebuild American manufacturing, to strengthen our economy and grow the middle class. It starts with building a medical supply chain, so we're not relying on other countries for the medicine we need. I approve this message because instead of talking about making things in America, I've got a plan to do it.
Prime Appliance had hundreds of appliances on back order due to factory shutdowns. Then in 1 week, 3 truckloads showed up unexpectedly. So we decided truckload sale with overstock prices like this. GE top load laundry pairs starting at $12.99. Or Samsung's stackable front load washers and dryers starting at just $13.99. Financing always available. Have our pros deliver and install or take it home today. Prime Appliance is the best place to buy your appliances. Let us prove it to you.
We connect people to their work, to their families, to all things essential. That's why your Touchstone Energy Cooperative is here every day, making life easier in all the ways that matter. And of all the connections we make, we know none are more powerful than the human connection. Touchstone Energy Cooperatives, your source for power and information.
The Kelly Clarkson Show, right here.
Weekdays at 3 on CBS3.
Get your new ATV from Duluth Lawn and Sport, the region's largest power sports dealer. Classic Rock KQ is once again the Northland's #1 radio station. The KQ Morning Show, the most listened to radio program in the Northland. The KQ Train Wreck, the Northland's #1 afternoon show. Thank you for making us the Northland's #1 radio station. 95 KQDS.
CBS3 weather is brought to you by Stokey's Meat Market. Now, the CBS3 Duluth WeatherMax forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Well, today temperatures fell only in the lower 60s, but there may still be some rebels out there that want to get a late season swim in. Well, National Weather Service says tonight's not the night to do it. They've issued one of their beach hazard alerts because of the threat of rip currents. The winds are kicking up and the undertow is forming, so don't try swimming tonight, whether it's Minnesota Point or Park Point. And it's not a great night for boating either along the North Shore or the South Shore. Weather Service has also issued a small craft advisory. So you may want to put that off for a little while longer. I know going out for a boat ride is probably more popular this time of year than actual swimming. But with rain coming our way for a couple of days here, conditions may not be good for even giving it an attempt. So we'll talk about when it might be fair enough weather to get out in the boat for one last go around. But right now, we look at the current conditions at the airport in Duluth. Hey, the sensor's fixed. We've got the numbers back again. It's 52 degrees, 93% is the relative humidity. So closer to the lake especially, there's a chance for some fog, like we saw with that live picture down south of Cloquet on I-35. Easterly, northeasterly wind right now is going 7 miles per hour, and the air pressure is a little bit low at 29.93 inches of mercury. Current temperatures around our area, looking at 63s from Watersmeet to Ironwood, 50 to 65 degrees in northwestern Wisconsin, so cooler by the lake in Superior, warmer inland, 65 at Hayward. 54 for Moose Lake, 52 Two Harbors right now, upper 50s around Ely, and through the Hibbing-Chisholm region towards Grand Rapids as well. Mid-60s for International Falls. So not everybody has the same cloud cover that folks along the lake have, but getting onto the fringes of our area, it's a little bit sunnier and hence a little bit warmer. Doppler map right now shows clouds in the area for much of the region here in the wake of yesterday's low pressure system and the advance of one coming in from the west, which brings us a chance for rain for Friday and for Saturday. And now let's take a look at how much rain we may get through at least the first half of the system. And this one may pay off better than last night's did. Even up north, we could get a 1/4 inch of rain and then about a 1/2 inch to an inch for the southern and central parts of our region. Taking a look at the forecast map here, for Friday and for Saturday, this low pressure system brings us roughly 50% chances for showers and maybe another couple rounds of thunderstorms like folks in Wisconsin had last night. So what do we get tonight in Minnesota? Well, the low temps should run from about 49 to 52 degrees, and it'll be mostly cloudy, but should be dry. I think the moisture Enough moisture for precip is gone for now. Mostly cloudy Wisconsin, Michigan as well. Lows in the 50s. Tomorrow warming up again, 70 to 75 for Wisconsin and for Michigan with a 40% rain chance beginning in the afternoon. 50% chance for the rain in Minnesota with highs going anywhere from 66 near International Falls to 74 down around Moose Lake. Here's our extended forecast, and this brief warm-up may be a brief one because you see a steady descent in temperatures for the next 7 days, starting at 70 Friday, falling to 48 by next Thursday, and in between, rain chances Friday, Saturday, slight one coming on Sunday.
Thanks, Dave. The Wisconsin National Guard welcomed home 150 soldiers from a year-long deployment. The 29th Engineer Company is based in Ashland and Spooner. This is video from their send-off last October before they spent a year overseas working on construction projects at 21 different bases. Their mission took them to Afghanistan, Iraq, Jordan, Syria, Saudi Arabia, and Kuwait. Because of the pandemic, the Guard could not hold a traditional welcoming home ceremony, but senior leaders met them when their plane arrived to welcome them back safely.
California is set to become the first state in the nation to phase out the sale of new cars that are gas-powered. Governor Gavin Newsom says the ban, which goes into effect in 15 years, is not only the right move for the environment, it's also good for business. Dania Backus reports from Los Angeles.
Using the hood of an electric-powered Ford Mustang, Governor Gavin Newsom signed an executive order banning the sale of new gas-powered passenger cars by 2035.
If you want to reduce asthma, if you want to mitigate the rise of sea level, if you want to mitigate the loss of ice sheets around the globe, then this is a policy for other states to follow.
The mandate applies only to new cars. Californians will still be able to drive, buy, and sell gas-powered cars on the used car market.
I think it'll just make common sense to go that way.
Nothing can compete with the sound of a naturally aspirated 6.2-liter V8.
Exhaust from cars, trucks, and other transportation are a large source of air pollution, and California has by far the most cars on the road than any other state. Governor Newsom says his order will reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 35%. And not only will it help the environment, he says the electric car mandate will be good for California's economy.
This is the next big global industry, and California wants to dominate it.
California is already home to 34 electric vehicle manufacturers, including top seller Tesla, which announced plans Tuesday to make cheaper batteries. If other states follow California's lead on zero-emission vehicles, it could have a huge impact on the U.S. automobile industry.
At least 15 countries have made similar commitments, including Germany, France, and Norway.
Still to come, Frost River Trading is once again open after a 6-month shutdown to manufacture PPE for healthcare workers on the front lines of COVID-19.
For our seniors, Social Security is a sacred obligation, a sacred promise made. The current president is threatening to break that promise. He's proposing to eliminate a tax that pays for almost half the Social Security without any way of making up for that lost revenue. I will not let that happen. If I'm your president, we're going to protect Social Security and Medicare. You have my word. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Storm damage happens, and when it does, turn to Peak Construction Roofing, the Northland's storm damage experts. Peak simplifies the process for you every step of the way. We offer insurance claims assistance and free storm damage inspections. Call Peak Construction Roofing today, and let us take care of you.
We need to make things here in America. We rely on other countries for too many things. I'm Tina Smith, and I have a plan to rebuild American manufacturing, to strengthen our economy and grow the middle class. It starts with building a medical supply chain, so we're not relying on other countries for the medicine we need. I approve this message because instead of talking about making things in America, I've got a plan to do it.
Do you have a coffee smile? Drinking coffee causes yellow teeth for thousands of people just like you. And whitening toothpaste just doesn't make those stains go away. Introducing Power Swabs, the first teeth whitening system that lifts coffee stains off your teeth in less than 5 minutes without whitening strips or trays.
I've smoked, I've drank coffee, I drink red wine. It makes my teeth darker. And using Power Swabs, it's made a difference. People ask me, what do you do to whiten your teeth? And I'm really proud to tell them that I use Power Swabs.
This didn't sting, it didn't burn, it didn't have an aftertaste. It was just a swab, and I just got to rub it on my teeth, and that was it.
The Secret is a tooth detergent and whitening agent developed by Dr. Martin Ginneker that lifts stains off of your teeth. Power Swabs remove stains on natural teeth, veneers, bonding, caps, and crowns. The best part is you just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you'll have whiter teeth. No more sitting at home with a whitening strip or tray in your mouth for 30 minutes twice a day.
So with the strips I've used in the past, most of them are like you got to leave it on for 30 minutes and the whole experience is just not comfortable. But with Power Swabs, I just snapped it open and rubbed it on and it was good to go.
When I used these whitening strips, I noticed when I would drink, I would get this crazy sensitivity. It would go right to my brain and I'm like, I hate this. So why do I have to go through the monstrosity of this pain just because I want to whiten my teeth? With Power Swabs, there was zero sensitivity.
Within the first day with the Power Swab, I noticed there was a difference. I really love the fact that you're able to go individually on each tooth and make sure that it's going to be wider.
Call for your 5-minute solution to whiter teeth. Whiten your teeth today by ordering Power Swabs and receive 40% off the regular price. Yes, 40% off the regular price. Shipping is free, plus you'll receive a free Quick Stick pen. Visit powerswabs.com or call the number on your screen.
Watch Jeopardy at 4:30, followed by CBS3 Live at 5 on Live Local CBS3.
A grand reopening at Frost River Trading Company today after a 6-month closure due to COVID-19. The ribbon cutting today kicks off a 4-day celebration for the company. While closed, Frost River transitioned to manufacturing masks and PPE for area hospitals, as well as remodeling their commercial storefront. Owner Christian Benson says his store manufactured 150,000 masks and nearly 300,000 face shields for frontline workers during that time.
The reason we have waited this long to get the store back open is we wanted to make sure that it was right, and that it was right for our staff, that we were able to get the whole store up and going, that we can learn from other retailers who have gone through the reopening process.
The reopening celebration continues throughout the weekend.
A Northland tribal leader has been handpicked to join a state council aimed at improving the environment. This week, Governor Tim Walz's administration announced appointments to the Governor's Advisory Council on Climate Change. Wayne Dupuis was among them. He's been leading the Fond du Lac Band in carbon and energy reduction. He says the band has reduced its energy reduction by at least 30% in the last decade, saving them $250,000 in reduction costs. He says the council's goal is to identify innovative policies and strategies to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and increase climate resiliency throughout the state.
Some of the actions that I see is we need to look at all of our infrastructure needs and make sure that they're as energy efficient as they can be. Those are steps that Fond du Lac has taken. It's imperative that we take the steps necessary to minimize the greenhouse gases that are being put into the atmosphere.
The council is tasked with putting out its report by December to meet the goals of the 2007 Next Generation Energy Act. Lucinda Johnson with UMD's Natural Resources Research Institute will also serve on the council. We'll be right back after the break.
CBS3 closed captioning is brought to you by Essentia Health. Have our certified nurse midwives provide personal one-on-one support and guidance for your next pregnancy. Visit EssentiaHealth.org to learn more.
Real customers are experiencing a real difference with Spectrum Internet and TV.
The speed is insane. It's always right there. Just boom.
It was easy to connect all of my devices, and I was able to find a plan that was affordable for me.
I'm saving money, and I'm even getting more speed.
Get the speed you need to do all the things you love on all your devices with Spectrum Internet, delivering the fastest starting speeds for the price. 100 megabits. Switch now for $44.99 a month. Call 833-918-4499.
With Spectrum TV, the picture quality is incredible. I feel like I'm in the movie.
The amount of stuff available on Spectrum On Demand is just never ending.
Add Spectrum TV and enjoy more free HD and more free on demand. Plus, use the Spectrum TV app to watch live TV on the go. All from $44.99 a month. Call 833-918-4499.
Spectrum gives me the best deal no matter what.
Every day I'm saving money.
Get Spectrum Internet and TV from $44.99 a month each with no contracts. Ask about our easy self-install options to install your new services yourself. Call 833-918-4499.
Whether you want to stock up on jerky or grab some ribeyes for dinner, you will find quality products at Stokey's Meat Market. We have been delivering quality meat and deli items for the past 15 years, and we take pride in being the best choice in the area with the freshest products. Stop by either our Duluth or Hermantown location today to peruse our massive selection of chicken, sausage, and beef. And make sure to visit us online at StokeysMeatMarket.com to check out our weekly specials. Stokey's Meat Market, where quality and freshness come first.
Coming up tonight at 6, we are hearing from local restaurants on changes that they're making as the winter season approaches.
80s yesterday gave way to 60s today, but 70s could return tomorrow. We'll talk about temperature trends
tonight at 6. Watch Jeopardy at 4:30, followed by CBS3 Live at 5 on Live Local CBS3. Men's wardrobe provided by Mainstream Fashions for Men, your fall fashion headquarters with new arrivals daily. Downtown Duluth.
Welcome back to the CBS3 News Live at 5. Here's a live look over what's supposed to be Spirit Mountain, but you can see it's a little bit foggy up there. Let's take a quick peek at some of today's top stories and a peek at what's coming up tonight at 6. A new art exhibit in Grand Rapids is hoping to shed light on what Itasca County leaders say is a big problem in the area, sexual assault. Officials with support within Reach, a sexual violence resource center, say in the past year the center has served more than 700 clients.
And tonight at 6, the cold weather is forcing many restaurants to make changes as the outdoor dining season comes to an end. That's your news at 5. The CBS Evening News is up next.
Thanks for watching.